Hi, I'm Jacque Smillie of banishingfear.com. And as you can see, right next to me today is Asara Lovejoy, author of The One Command, 6 Steps to Attracting Wealth into Your Life Through the Power of Your Mind. Hi, Asara.
Hi, Jackie. How are you today?
I have to say I'm excellent. How are
Great.
you?
Well, I'm looking forward to a conversation with you about transforming people's lives.
Yeah, that's really, I know it's your mission, it's my mission, and when I heard about the One Command and started using it about 11 months ago, I thought I've got to get certified. I've got to teach people how to use this. When you realize that the science that you have studied, the neuroscience, the plasticity of the brain, the mind, that we have the ability to change everything in a split second through the One Command. It's really it's important to get this out there and get this into people's hands so they can have the same kind of fulfillment and joy and happiness and success that we all know that is our divine right.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just so thrilled that you're taking the message of the One Command and bringing it out to the public. You've been certified as a one-day, One Command seminar leader.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, what you're doing is taking people through the educational process of how it works, why it works, and implementing it in their life right away. I know we have so much to say about what's possible with each and every individual. And my message of the One Command is my own personal story of going from that dark night of that soul, the moment of almost giving up, wanting to leave the planet because I crashed and burned one more time. I mean, I lived a very successful life, but I also lived the life of the yo-yo effect, up and down and up and down. And I was always loving the ability of a human being to be living beyond their circumstances.
Yeah.
That I was so fascinated with how the mind works and what is it that we have within our emotional mental capacity to be able to be the masters of our own life, to self-direct and to be self-aware and to transform any childhood program, any limiting program into a success pattern. And when I hit that moment myself of almost losing my house and all my money, I actually just went to my knees. And because I had been doing so much studying in neuroscience and how we could go in from the regular beta consciousness, everyday ordinary consciousness, into our altered brainwave states of alpha, theta, delta, I just found myself going into that theta mind. And in there, while I was there, I just received this whole transmission of 6 steps and a statement that we call the One Command to instantaneously disengage the way in which the brain is firing a sequence and to establish a new sequence of firing. So what that means is that I could instantly stop my fear, my sorrow, my judgment against myself, my hopelessness.
Yeah.
I instantly stopped that. And then instead, I created a command or a statement that I wanted to have be alive in me.
Yeah.
And that statement was, I don't know how. I keep my house. I only know I keep my house now.
Mm-hmm.
So that statement is speaking directly to the subconscious mind and directly to consciousness in every cell of the body. Well, within 2 weeks, I had a resolution. And from there, I just simply went out and started sharing the message of the One Command. And as you know, we've already reached over 400,000 people around the world. The One Command Circle Leadership Program is on every continent. We have people in every one of the 50 states, many countries around the world. It's translated into French, German, Spanish, Latvian. So there's just this amazing growth of the ability to use this One Command tool in the world. And I know that you've already been teaching it. And what I love to share with people is the message of results. So when you have this wonderful group with you during your one-day event, what do you notice happens?
Well, first of all, everybody leaves peaceful, glowing, and hopeful. They've had a real healing of a state of mind, and inner possibilities are are percolating to the surface. You mean I really can ask for this, and I really can create this? They're seeing new possibilities and potential in their life. But very shortly afterwards, I've taught a lot of techniques over 34 years. I've never had people more eager to tell me what happens after a class than teaching the one command. It's like they just, it's astounding because it's more than a light going on. It's subconsciously we know that this should work, but we didn't have the tool like the one command where it works. So some of my stories that just poured in where a woman, her car was in the shop and she got some bad news and she didn't know what to do. She went into the one command. I don't know how. I have another car, a new car. I only know I have a car now. And she let it go. The next day, without talking to her sons, they actually came out and brought her a car. I have had a woman who's very anxious on freeways and has used a number of techniques with some effectiveness, but with just a few moments of going to theta with the one command, she could drive on the freeways in the rain completely peaceful. Somebody else, you know how you'll have where your whole life looks different. She said, when I went home, nothing looked the same. Even the rug was different, and my circulation in my body was better. Many varied things happening, but everybody has stories to tell. How about you? What do you?
Yeah, I love to tell the stories because we can get into the science of why we go through the 6 steps and why the statement works in the theta brainwave. And I'll just do a minute, and then I'm going to share some stories. When you learn what the statement is and why it's constructed the way that it is, it makes sense. You teach that in the seminar. And you actually teach the 6-step process by having people physically experience it on the laying out 6 steps on the floor, and they actually step through those 6 steps. Yeah. And then you teach them how to find a program, problem, belief, behavior of what is not working in their life. And we say that we call that, what is it that you want to change, improve, or remove in your life? And then you show them how to say, well, what do you want instead? So people are mostly focused on the problem rather than the solution. They're mostly focused on telling the story of how it hasn't worked repeatedly. Why hasn't it worked? And now what we're giving people is an actual physical, neurological, biological tool. This is not a philosophy of change. This is an actual physical experience of change. And what we say is when you change your brain, when you change your way in which you're firing a thought in your brain, and you create a new thought and you're firing a new thought in your brain, your consciousness follows. Reality follows what you're thinking. We go into quite a bit about why you already are a master in your life. And when you learn the one command tool, you have the capacity to direct your old thoughts, feelings, behaviors, experiences. You can't change the past. You've had an experience, but you can change your decision about that experience. And when you change a decision about an experience and open into a new level of consciousness, my message is, of the one command that you're sharing as well with the world, Jacque, is that there is this greater consciousness in every individual that is waiting to be expressed within you, and what's blocking it is our own fear. What's blocking it is our own inability to access it. So if you remove the block.
It's fear, and it's not knowing. Like, we know principles, but it's like, where's the manual for living? How do we use our body to its fullest potential, and our mind? I love how you quote that the conscious mind only occupies 5% of the firing in the brain.
Yes.
And really, the 90 or so percent of the brain is for the massive creative design of your life, and it's not used. because of the
Yes.
old habits, and just not knowing we could access. Everybody just wrote off, oh well, we just don't use it. And well, no, we just didn't know how to use all of our
Exactly.
brain. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
the tools in the path. So when you start to access that part of your consciousness, and what we share is that just have it become so natural.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
think in theta, you think in your greater intelligence, you think in your greater capacity, exactly the same way you think in ordinary everyday thought.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, you begin to actually shift all of the old paradigms of thought in your mind. Now, when you create a new thought, what happens? Results. So the results that we're talking about happen because you literally can only perceive and experience in life what it is that you think is possible.
Yeah.
And the minute that you create a new possibility, you're now into the quantum field of what is a probable new future. You've now released the inhibitions of your perception. When you release the inhibitions of your perception, then you can perceive something brand new occurring. And guess what, Master Beings? It happens. So that's why the house looks different.
Yeah.
You know, my stories from the workshops, I love the one where an executive consultant was had set up a meeting for Sunday after the one-day workshop, and she was going to go do a preliminary conversation about becoming a consultant for a very big business. And I get the call the next day, as you said, people love to share. Sir, you won't believe what happened. And I go, oh yeah, I'll believe what happened. Go ahead, tell me what happened. She said, I walked away with a $65,000 contract. They signed me up on the spot.
Yeah.
And I said, well, wasn't it good that you had come to the seminar and shifted your perception? Because she had commanded, I don't know how it's possible for me to double my income with my contracts and easily get signed contracts right now.
Yeah.
And that was a manifestation. The thing that I love, you know, the book was written around money because that was the experience I was having at the time. But the application of the one command is so powerful. It works in the dynamics of changing dysfunctional relationships in a family. And I know you specialize in codependency and addiction behavior.
Yeah,
Well,
let me say a little bit about that for a moment, because when I'm writing a book on energy healing, using your own potential within your body to heal your codependent and addictive habits, and underneath all addictions is you're just trying to feel better. You know, you're just trying to get some relief from the state of mind that you're living in. And that's why I really wanted to ask you directly today. I'm excited to get, it just seems to me, and I don't have the experience of it yet, but I want to know, you know, from you, it just seems like the perfect fit is the one command.
Yes, it is, because everything in our body, you know, if you've ever read anything by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he talks about breaking the habit of being yourself. I love that title, and I love the name of that book. And everything that we actually process in terms of our beliefs and our thoughts and our feelings are addictions, because we've created a chemical event that fires a sequence of that thought pattern. And so we have addictive thinking, we have addictive cravings.
You know, it's like when you're fighting, I don't want to drink, or I don't want to eat that cookie, I don't want to eat that cookie. Well, what would you like to think instead? I mean, you know, just, you know, go into theta and think the thought you'd rather have. Wow.
What would you rather have? I'd rather eat well. And what's nice about the one command is we start with I don't know how, because we're telling the truth.
Yeah.
I don't know how to release my addiction to cookies. I don't know how to release my addiction to alcohol. I don't know how to release my addiction to depression. I have to tell you that I work over in Japan, and in Japan, there's a lot of depression in the culture because there's a lot of structure in place that defines where you're supposed to be. And if you want to change and be somewhere else, it's not as easy as it is here in the Western world. And so as a consequence, when you're thwarted and you don't have more ability to move easily out in the world, you become depressed because you're repressed. So when you're
Yes.
repressed, you're depressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I teach over there in Japan, we address depression all the time. And people walk in depressed and walk out not depressed. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's that quick. We
Yeah.
can make that quick of a biological, chemical change in the way they think and perceive. Now, I've had a friend who has actually quit drinking using the one command. And you start off by not knowing how, but you're commanding that your body, mind, brain chemistry, your body, mind, spirit, everything in you is going to be geared towards a solution rather than, as you said, fighting the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm so excited about your book. Well, let's get back to you out in the world
Yeah.
teaching your seminars.
Yeah.
I just want to kind of finish our conversation because I just have so much fun with you
Yeah.
by just telling everybody that's watching the video, you know, I highly recommend Jackie for attending her seminar because, as you can see, she is speaking from the heart. She's speaking with her mind. She's speaking with the passion to literally transform your life. And when you walk in the door and spend a day with Jackie, I guarantee you'll never be the same. You'll be transformed in a most magnificent way. So just follow her calendar and find out where she'll be teaching next. And thanks so much, Jackie, for letting me have a conversation with you.
Thank you. Yes, my website is banishingfear.com, and your website for people who want to know more about you directly, Asara?
Is asara.com, ASARA.com.
Okay, marvelous. I think we got everything covered in a beautiful, inspiring way.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Okay, bye.